When historian Marcus Webb discovered a mysterious 1842 photograph hidden in dusty Oregon archives, he had no idea it would unravel a century-old family secret and save his entire inheritance. But what he found beneath the surface of that old daguerreotype would change everything he thought he knew about his family's past. Marcus descended into the basement archives of the Oregon Historical Society, carrying yet another box of donated photographs. 3 hours into what should have been routine cataloging work, he opened an unmarked manila envelope. Inside was a pristine daguerreotype showing two young girls, perhaps 8 years old, standing hand in hand in identical gingham dresses. Their solemn faces stared directly into the camera, with that haunting stillness unique to 1840s photography. The polished copper plate had preserved every detail with startling clarity. The careful curls framing their faces, the precise pleats of their matching outfits, and, most remarkably, a small heart-shaped locket catching light around the right girl's neck. Marcus squinted at the faint inscription scratched into the metal. EW and IW, never apart, 1842. His breath caught. Those initials, that locket. He'd seen it before. The recognition hit him like a physical blow, transporting him back to his grandmother Rose's hospital bedside 2 years earlier. Her final words, whispered through labored breathing, had seemed like delirium at the time. "Marcus, the estate. You have to protect it." He dismissed it as morphine-induced rambling. Until 3 weeks ago, the certified letter from Ashford and Associates in Boston arrived like a thunderbolt. Victoria Ashford's legal team was challenging his family's claim to the Whitmore inheritance, a century-old trust established in 1923 that would revert to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in 30 days unless rightful heirs could prove their lineage. The timing was catastrophic. Marcus's teaching suspension, triggered when Victoria's team leaked the inheritance dispute to local media, had left him scrambling financially. His mother's medical bills were mounting, his daughter Emma's college fund was nearly depleted, and his reputation hung by a thread. But this photograph, if this was really his great-great-grandmother Isabella as a child, could be the evidence that would save everything. Victoria Ashford had built her career dismantling fraudulent inheritance claims, but her personal stake in this case ran deeper than professional pride. She came from Boston blue blood. Her great-aunt had been a Whitmore descendant who'd lost everything in the 1929 stock market crash, dying in poverty while distant relatives held the family fortune. Victoria's family had spent decades researching their claim, waiting for the perfect moment to reclaim what they believed was rightfully theirs. Now, the 1923 Trust's 100-year protection was about to expire, creating a legal window that Victoria had seized with surgical precision. Her challenge was devastatingly simple. Marcus's family line was fraudulent. According to her research, the Isabella Whitmore, who'd lived in Oregon, was an imposter who'd stolen the identity of the real Isabella, who died shortly after her twin sister Evangeline succumbed to scarlet fever in Massachusetts in 1842. Victoria claimed to possess photographic evidence, a tintype from 1889, showing that, in the authentic image, Evangeline was the one wearing the locket, not Isabella. She was the one standing on the right. Several independent experts had confirmed that Victoria's photograph had never been altered, which meant that Marcus's picture, where Isabella wore the locket and stood on the right, could be a forgery. Her case was backed by another troubling detail. The woman claiming to be Isabella in later years used to sign her name as I.E. Isabella Evangeline, as if she couldn't decide which twin she was supposed to impersonate. With 27 days remaining, Marcus clutched the daguerreotype like a lifeline. He spent the next 3 weeks in a frenzied research spiral, haunting university libraries, scouring genealogical databases, and driving to remote Oregon towns following rumors of Whitmore family graves. Each dead end felt like another nail in his case's coffin. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source: Margaret Whitmore's diary. She was an older niece who'd lived with the family during the tragedy. Her diaries had been checked during the search for additional heirs, but experts had missed an equally important detail hidden in those pages. The entry from February 20th, 1842 was heartbreaking. Evangeline was laid to rest under the old oak at Mount Auburn Cemetery. After the brief service, Isabella took her twin's heart-shaped locket, whispering, "Evangeline's heart must beat on." She placed it around her neck and hasn't removed it since. From that day on, she lived as both sisters. The innocent entries revealed the psychological truth. Isabella hadn't died that day, in body, but in spirit. The loss of Evangeline had devastated her to the point that she'd absorbed her dead twin's identity, becoming both sisters as a way to keep Evangeline's memory alive. But this emotional revelation provided no legal ammunition against Victoria's methodical assault. With only 4 days remaining, Victoria's team delivered their devastating final evidence. Documentation proved that Catherine Mills, the woman who'd made the 1889 tintype, had been hired specifically to alter family photographs and create supporting documentation for inheritance claims. Victoria's brief argued coldly. The defendant's case rests entirely on photographs altered by a known forger. The court should rule definitively in favor of legitimate Massachusetts descendants. Just as Marcus felt his last hope crumbling, his phone rang with unexpected salvation. Dr. Alex Chen from Harvard's Advanced Imaging Laboratory had heard about the case through academic channels. His cutting-edge spectral analysis technology could reveal truths hidden beneath a century of photographic modifications. "Bring me both photographs," Dr. Chen said. "I can tell you exactly what's real and what isn't." With 4 days remaining, Marcus had to take the offer. Dr. Chen deployed the laboratory's most advanced equipment, multispectral imaging technology, typically reserved for authenticating museum pieces and detecting art forgeries. The process was painstakingly slow, positioning the daguerreotype under specialized cameras capable of capturing images across multiple wavelengths of light. "This is remarkable," Chen murmured, studying the preliminary results. "The plate chemistry definitively confirms 1840s origin. The silver-mercury amalgam shows characteristic aging patterns that cannot be artificially replicated. This picture is original, not a forgery." But then Chen overlaid the daguerreotype with spectral analysis of Victoria's tintype. The revelation was staggering. "The two images aren't identical reproductions," Chen explained. "They're companion photographs taken during the same 1842 sitting, capturing different moments. Notice the subtle differences. The girl's hand positions vary slightly. One twin's dress fabric shows a different fold pattern. Most tellingly, their facial expressions show the micro-variations you'd expect from children posed for multiple exposures." Neither picture was a forgery. Both were authentic. The Whitmore family had commissioned not one but 2 daguerreotypes during that 1842 session, a common practice among wealthy families who wanted backup copies of important portraits. But Chen's equipment had one final, breathtaking detail to reveal. When the spectral analysis of both plates was viewed in sequence, the positioning showed that the twins had playfully switched places between the 2 exposures. "They were playing a game," Chen said softly. Judge Patricia Morrison's courtroom felt impossibly tense as Dr. Chen wheeled in his projection equipment for what everyone knew would be the decisive moment. Victoria struck first, her presentation methodical and devastating. She traced the timeline with surgical precision. Isabella's strange signatures, Catherine Mills's involvement, the convenient discovery of family photographs. Then Dr. Chen stepped forward. "Your Honor, what we're dealing with here isn't fraud. It's one of the most beautiful examples of 19th century family love ever documented." The room darkened as Chen's slides illuminated the wall. Both photographs appeared side by side, enhanced through spectral analysis. At first glance, they looked identical, but then Chen began his overlay demonstration. "Notice the subtle differences," he explained, his laser pointer dancing across the projected images. "Hand positions that vary by mere millimeters, dress fabric showing different fold patterns, most remarkably, facial microexpressions that reveal the passage of time between exposures." The courtroom leaned forward collectively as Chen toggled between the images in rapid succession, creating an almost cinematic effect. "What we're witnessing," Chen continued, "is a moment of childhood joy preserved across nearly 2 centuries. The twins switched places between photographs, a spontaneous game that their photographer chose to document." He paused, then delivered the revelation that would echo through the room. Isabella didn't die with Evangeline. She survived, commissioned the photo alteration, and went on to live as both twins, keeping Evangeline's memory alive. The silence that followed was palpable. Even Victoria Ashford, known for her unshakable composure, sat frozen, her carefully constructed legal arguments disintegrating under the weight of such raw human truth. 30 minutes later, Judge Morrison delivered her ruling. "This court has witnessed something extraordinary today. Both daguerreotype and tintype are authentic artifacts created not to deceive, but to preserve and honor one of the most moving examples of sibling devotion in American family history. Her decision reflected the complexity of truth itself. Both families held legitimate claims to Isabella Whitmore's legacy. The evidence proved that Isabella had indeed survived to age 89, legally maintaining her own identity while psychologically carrying her twin sister's memory. Therefore, Judge Morrison concluded, she ruled that the inheritance would be divided according to Isabella's 1901 contingency provisions, 60% to the Webb family line, 40% to the Ashford descendants. Outside the courthouse, Marcus and Victoria found themselves sharing an unexpected moment of mutual respect. The legal battle had revealed truths neither family had imagined, a story of love that transcended the simple matter of money. "Your great-aunt would have appreciated this outcome," Marcus told Victoria as they shook hands. Isabella's story honors everyone who carried her memory forward. Victoria's smile carried genuine warmth. "Our families were connected all along. We just needed historians and a 183-year-old photograph to remind us." Marcus's teaching suspension was lifted within a week as national media coverage transformed him from suspected fraud into the educator who solved a Civil War-era twin mystery. His daughter's college fund was safe, his mother's medical bills were paid, but the real victory belonged to Isabella and Evangeline Whitmore, twin sisters whose childhood game of switching places had become, across the generations, a lasting testament to love's power to transcend even death itself. What family photographs in your own collection might hold hidden stories waiting to be discovered? The past has a way of revealing its secrets when we're brave enough to look beneath the surface.